betrayed me. Alrighty, let's lay onto our back and we'll do the pelvic curl. Actually, I don't need
Just gonna try and get that tilt down a little bit. So my tripod is actually just and a pillow.
Oh yeah. Well, that's good. So we'll do that connecting breathing where you draw on your pelvic floor and your deep abs when you breathe out. And then when you feel like you've got that kind of happening with your out breath, you breathe in through your nose to prepare and then breathe out. Start to tuck your tailbone under and then just going to roll up from your tailbone end, peeling your spine off the mat. Come all the way up to your high position. Just watch those ribs aren't wanting to flare at the top. You want to keep the ribs drawing towards the hips. Breathe in and then breathe out to roll it down. One vertebra at a time. Nice, and relax the tailbone down there at the bottom. That's it, inhale. And then breathing out, scoop the tummy in, start to roll up. That's it, bring the knees a little closer together if you can.
Oh yeah.
Breath in there. And then breathe out to roll it down. I think sometimes you do the yoga brick in between the knees, eh? That might be.
What's that?
Put the yoga brick in between the knees.
For this one?
Just for this one, yeah, just to help keep that connection. I'll grab my yoga brick too. Because I think that's gonna be good for your spacing. So you breathe out, draw the tummy on, tuck the tailbone under, start to peel up. Pressure through the heels, breath in there. Yeah, and then roll the ribs down first. Breastbone, then ribs, then each of the low back vertebra, one at a time. And then tailbone down. Nice, inhale there. And then breathing out, draw the tummy on. Scoop the top, scooping in, tucking under. Pubic bone towards the belly button. Kind of try and tuck the tail as much as you can. That's it, hold. And now soften down through your breastbone, then through your rib cage. Then each of the low back vertebra. Just got one more to go. Inhale here at the bottom. Exhale, scoop the tummy in. Squeeze into the back of the legs to lift up. All the way out. Keep the ribs drawing towards the hips. Feel that strength through the front here. Inhale, hold. And now soften through your upper back and through the lower part of the rib cage. That's it. And then tailbone down last. Nice. Alrighty, let's take the brick out.
I feel like I'm getting better at those. There's still a couple of vertebrae that I put down at the same time, but
have a little glute stretch now. Just bring your foot onto your opposite knee. Yep, relax. If you need a pillow for your head, use your little yoga brick. It's quite good for that. If you're finding your head's kind of dangling, and this will just stretch out your glute around the which leg are you doing? Be your right hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside rotational.
Yeah. Try and roll the knee out, and then rest be your left foot down, and then you can just roll from side to side with the pelvis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just mobilizing through the lumbar. See if you can get the foot all the way down to the floor and then rolling the other way, thigh to the floor. Good. One more on this side. And then we'll switch legs. So you bring your foot onto your opposite knee. It'll be your left foot onto the right knee. And then relaxing that. So you just feel that stretch all around the glute and the outside of the hip. That's good. And then you can rest the foot down and roll from side to side on this one as well. Yeah, down, twisting through the low back, that's it. And then taking the foot over to the floor. That's good. Good little twist. Cool. Last one. Nice. Okay, so we're going to try something a little bit stronger for the oblique strengthening.
Yeah.
We'll warm them up first actually. Come lay onto your side. You got enough space for stretching out like that?
Yep.
Yeah, and then you're going to lift. So we're going to lift the top leg up just a little. And then inhale down. Now you want the hips to be stacked, one on top of the other. So just do a little check, like roll the top hip forward and back and just see where it feels like the top hip is resting right above the bottom hip. And then
I think so.
Float the top leg up and then down. And you're trying to connect into this underneath side of your abdominals here. So you want to try and lift that away from the mat and then float that opposite leg up. So you draw up from underneath and then float the leg. Good. Yeah, one more. Breath out, belly button in. And then we're going to lift both legs. So, and with this one, try and feel like your bottom leg is kind of pushing up the top leg.
Yeah.
So you're working the underneath side, that's it. Breath out to lift up and to go down. So draw the toe. If you're feeling it in your back, instead of your abs, bring the feet further forward. So that's going to change your body shape a little bit, but it'll make the work come more into the front body or into this top oblique. And underneath legs pushing up, lifting the top leg. And last one. Okay, good. Let's do that on the other side. It's good to warm up the obliques. So, bottom arm's the pillow, hips are stacked, underneath side's lifting away from your mat as you float the top leg up. And how low. You can use this hand to help you balance the and help keep everything in a sideline position. So you just want, what usually happens is people try to roll their top hip towards the ceiling and then that makes it easier to lift the leg, but you're staying pretty nice and sideways, so that's good. Last one.
I've always been good at getting sideways.
Yeah, the bottom leg's going to lift the top leg now. So breathing out to lift up, inhale down.
Oh, it's definitely tricky on that side for me.
Aha. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower.
I don't know if that's just me being unco or it's a strength.
Might be your weaker side. So that's your left side on top? You're finding that trickier? Interesting. Bottom leg lifting. Last one. Good. Then we're going to come up onto the elbow. Going to bend both knees.
Yep.
But you don't want the knees too far forward. You want to have them kind of, pretty much in line with your body.
Okay.
And then we're going to lift up from the underneath side. We're going to lift up and go into a little elbow plank. That's it. Inhale, come down. Just bring your elbow a little bit closer into you so that your upper arm is kind of vertical. You don't want to be too wide like this because then it's tricky. So, elbow directly under the shoulder, that's it. And then you're just drawing tummy on and then lifting up from that underneath side. That's it. You'll get a little bit of work in this underneath hip as well, the muscles on the side of the hip. And breathe out to lift. That's it. And to lower. So, belly button in, pelvic floor on, and lift. Cool. 2 more. Bit of a shoulder workout too. Last one. Nice. Let's do the other side. So only need to do about 6 to 8 reps of everything. Don't want to do. Don't want to overcook it. Elbow underneath the shoulder. Draw the armpit towards the hip. So you got this kind of sliding down feeling. And then lifting up from your underneath waist. So you feel the lift from underneath. That's it. Got it? Yep. You still want to feel like this lat, so the armpit area here is connected. So it's not a pushing away of the arm, It's almost like a drawing in actually of the elbow towards the hip, and then you lift
Yeah.
up using your side waist muscles. There you go. And last one. Is this side harder for you? A little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay. Perfect. Let's do a little bit of a plank, and then we'll get
Yeah.
on the roller to finish. So
Okay.
if you're on all fours, and just gonna step one foot back. Oh, make sure you're still on your mat with your foot.
Yeah.
So you,
Hang
otherwise
on, I'm just gonna
it might go
this
for a,
down.
might go for a slide. So you'll be there, and then you're gonna step the other foot back and just hold that position for 4 breaths. That's it. Feel the lift, try and lift your tummy away from your pant line. Yeah, and then just soften a little bit between the shoulders so you don't want to be in a hunchback. You want to be in a kind of a lengthened spine position with strong abs.
How does that look?
Yeah, tuck the tail a little bit more. That's better, and then just drop down, drop your upper back down between your shoulder blades a little bit. There you go. Yep, that's tricky for you. Okay. And then coming in, one knee and then the other knee, come down. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to mobilize that thoracic spine.
Yeah, she's locked up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're in that position, does it feel painful? In that plank?
Just uncomfortable. Just
Right.
I can really notice everything's,
Yeah.
you know, like nothing's loose. Like everything, there's no movement in that position. There's nothing I can change by just going like that. I've got to like really think and force it to happen.
Yeah, I can see there's a real restriction through your lower part of your thoracic spine. And
Yeah.
even when you're trying to soften it, it kind of skipped the part that was really rigid and went into your lumbar, started to move instead. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's do that, thread the needle, and then we'll get on the roller. So you can either do, there's 2 versions. You can either just go straight into sliding the hand through, and then you just come back to your 4-point kneeling position, or you can add in a bit of rotation the opposite direction first, and then slide through.
I quite like that.
So it's just if that's a little bit more, I guess, muscular work. So I guess it's really sore and aggravated, maybe you want to do the less heavy version. But it is quite nice to twist both ways.
I find that opening up like that actually really kind of opens everything up for me quite a bit.
So you're probably a little bit like me, like I'm not naturally flexible, but the more I move, the more things loosen up.
Yeah, I'm
like
not sort of
joints.
naturally flexible, but I can be really flexible.
Yeah. Just
But I
gotta,
lock up. I mean,
gotta train it.
I've got to be stretching twice a day for that.
Yeah. And let's do one more each way. And you can use your in-breath as well to help. So when you're down in this down position, you can breathe in here and like breathe in, like wherever you feel there's a tight spot in your rib cage, you can kind of direct your breath towards it. And that, because those intercostal muscles, they're involved in respiration. So if you take a deep inhale, you can kind of use that use the breath to stretch them, you know. So that's
felt it.
That's quite nice. And you can do that same sort of breathing with those little massage balls that you have. So if you, like I quite like to do it, I get a couple of them and I put them in a little bag like this. But if you've got, so if you've got 2, you can put them in a sock or something. And then you put them either side of your spine. And just lay, I mean, this is going to be like watching paint dry, but you just...
Hang on, I was just going to grab mine. Wait 1 second. I've left it in the other room.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so good. And just lay back over the balls, wherever your tightness is, and you just breathe and relax into it. Or you can curl up And breathe.
Check out this thing.
Oh, that looks good. Little spicy peanut. Oh, yeah, that.
It's sort of like a peanut, yeah, but it's like a technical peanut.
Yeah, that looks good. That'll get in there, but you don't want to get that. You want to make sure you get that centered.
Yeah.
You don't want it to
Very
be.
much so.
So you get the SPs, the spinous processes, right in the gap in the middle. That'll be good.
Otherwise, I do have 2 tennis balls.
Oh yeah. So see how the peanut feels, and then if it's too intense.
I think it's probably going to be too intense. I need.
And have your yoga brick for your pillow. Because
Yeah.
you want to be able to be comfortable, so you can just breathe and relax. And then find your. Actually, I think I'm okay without the yoga brick, but if your neck was on like a weird angle like this, then that you'd want to have a book or a pillow or something. So find wherever it's tightest, and if you feel like it's all one-sided, the tightness, you could flip it the other way, and so it's more vertical, and put it on the side that's really sore. But just, wherever you feel like is the tightest spot, put it in the center of that, and then you just breathe there. And on your out breath, you want to try and relax and let the balls kind of sink in a bit more. And on the inhale, you can do that expanding thing where you think of the ribs expanding away from the spine. And then you can support the head and lift the head up, and that brings a bit of a longitudinal stretch onto those muscles that are running. And so you breathe in, hold that there, and then breathe out, relax back. And the other way to get a little bit more pressure is to lift the hips up. That's usually when it's a little bit high. I've got mine kind of bottom of the shoulder blades area, but if your tight spot was a little bit higher, then it's quite good to get more pressure to lift up the hips.
Yeah. Pressure's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Where it is at the moment. If I was going to go higher, it wouldn't be quite so intense.
Yeah, it's good to work around the edges and then go towards the epicenter sometimes.
Yeah.
And when when the balls are higher, kind of more, I guess, would be like 2 inches from your base of your neck. That kind of, you can lift the hips up, and you can take the arms one way and the hips the other way, and that creates some interesting kind of fascial.
Oh, yeah, that's gnarly.
I feel that all around my right shoulder when I do that.
Oh yeah, that's gnarly.
So hips go one way, arms go the other way. Or if that's too much, you could just keep the hips still and just do the arms.
Or just put my hips back on the ground.
Yeah, hips down and just do the arms. Or do arm circles.
Well, I'm still twisting them, but I'm just not doing it in the air.
Yeah, that brings more, definitely hips up brings more pressure.
Yeah.
Same like lifting the head up, it creates the ball's like the fulcrum for the tension. So you can lift the head and move it from side to side. Or what I like to do now is just reach and grab my opposite shoulders. So I'm trying to slide the shoulder blades out of the way. Lift the head up, so the head's unsupported for this one. And then you just use your feet, and you have to lift your pelvis a little bit, but you're going to wriggle your body and wriggle all the way from that spot where you were up higher back down to the spot where you were lower. So that's a good little self-massage.
Yeah.
Save yourself $90 going to the massage therapist with this one. Maybe you'd rather pay the $90. No, but sometimes you go for a massage and they don't do it hard enough. I've had that experience when you're like, where you're like, can you just go a little bit harder on my shoulder? It's really tight, and they're like, oh no, you're going a bit red.
I've got a lady
what do you think was
in
going to happen?
TA2.
Yeah,
She does trigger point massage.
Yeah. Killer.
So she doesn't do any longer than an hour.
Oh no. She probably wouldn't have any return customers if she did longer than an hour. They'd be crippled.
Yeah, she's like, no, it's not going to be good for you.
No.
I was like, no, I want 90 minutes before my first one, you know. And she was like, nah, hour's the longest I'm going to do. I did an hour, got out of it, and like, oh, my lymphatic system was just screaming. And fucking, you know,
you're like, okay, an hour's good.
My head was reeling and all that sort of shit.
So let's we'll do our stability homework on the roller.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a little bit of thoracic extension, and we might finish with just a hip flexor stretch. So if you're laying down on the roll, so you can have your hands down if you need, and you got the knee drifting out, that one.
Yeah.
And then inhale, coming back. Breath out to, so draw your tummy on before you move. Yeah, that's good. Pelvic floor, navel to spine. Oh, excellent. Yeah. So just go as far as you can with the leg before you feel any sort of move, like shifting through the bottom ribs. You want to keep the rib cage pretty centered and stable. You can soften the ribs down towards the hips, but yeah, you don't want them to go with the leg. Put it that way. Nice, yeah, and then try the single leg lift where you're floating the one leg up to tabletop and then down and then
other one?
Yeah, switching sides.
Yeah.
That's the way. Breath out to the left. Nice. There we go. Nice one. Alrighty. Let's just bring the hands behind the head and do a little chest lift here where you're curling up. A little bit of ab connection. Breathing out to slide the ribs down towards the hips. Yep. Nice. Inhale, go down. Exhale, coming up. Inhale, go down. Now I think last week this is where we added in the leg lifts, but we're gonna leave that today. But you know, if you get to this point and you're like, oh, I'm feeling good today, I'm gonna add, go for the bit more difficult. Yeah, so you curl up and you hold the curled up position and do the leg lifting. So come on off the roller, we're just gonna pop it around across the tips of the shoulder blades, kind of the start of your, still on the bottom part of your rib cage, but just there, and then you just go inhale back over it, exhale coming up. That's it. Yeah, breath in to go back. And good, and you can add in the rotation if you want. So this is, it's you're strengthening the abdominals, but it's also about mobilizing the thoracic. So go with what feel like. If you find a spot that feels a bit tight, spend some more time going that way. And then I like to lift the hips up and just do a little bit of a roll up and down. Yeah, and if you've got one side that's a bit tighter than the other, it can be good to kind of roll and put more pressure on that side. So you're getting the roller rolling it out a bit for you. Good, and then we would just take the roller but pop it under the knees and lay on back, and then you'll roll up underneath your bottom there. My roller's not all the way around, so I've got to find the flat spot. Otherwise, I'll be fighting it the whole time. So bring the legs up to tabletop one at a time, yeah, and then you just roll it across your back pocket. So you roll the legs to one side, back through the center, and then over to the other side. And just hold on to the ends of the roller with your hands, just so it doesn't decide to slip away. And to go over, out to go back. That's it, breath in to go over. Reaching out through your top thigh. And last one. Try and leave that opposite shoulder down on the mat as you rotate the legs away. Good, and then hug one knee into your chest and just let the other leg stretch out long for a bit of a stretch there. Sometimes it's good if you've got an ankle weight or something you can put on that leg.
Oh yeah.
Add to the stretch.
Yeah.
Or a beautiful assistant who can come and press down on your lower part of your thigh.
I feel like all down and through here is where I really need to work on elongating the muscles.
Yeah. It's gone into protect mode for your back, you think, or was tight
Well,
already?
I just think also, I think in general, yeah, I think that like possibly because I'm so tight through here, that could be attributed to why I'm having problems in through there.
Well, yeah, the psoas. Did we talk about psoas last week? About how
I'm not sure.
your deep hip flexor, psoas with a P?
I think we did a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So that, where it attaches right up to the top of the lumbar spine and
Yes, that's right.
And then by the diaphragm there. So if that's tight, it's commonly tight on people that have a back injury because it's such a strong muscle, and it kind of subs in for your abs when your abs get inhibited from your pain.
Right.
So it kind of, it could have been tight already, and then the injury inhibited the muscles that usually help it, so it just had to do more.
Yeah.
And just would get real tight and gnarly. You can lay on a ball on your tummy. Did we talk about how you can get the ball in there, the tennis ball in there?
Yes, we did, all up and through here. So
you lay on your front and you get the pressure in there, and you just kind of find the sore spot, and then you can bend the knee if you're on your tummy. You can
throw it out to the side and stuff.
Yeah, and just get, so that's kind of like you're giving a bit of cross fiber massage to that deep hip flexor, to that psoas muscle. So that's a good one to do. But if you're, the psoas and the quads, they're all, your rec fem is a quad, but it's also a hip flexor. So your psoas and your quads, they're kind of, functionally, they're linked. Because you've got a hip flexor in your quadriceps group, and your psoas is your main hip flexor.
Hip flexor.
Yeah. Hip flexors, they get a hammering.